change my stream information, so I'm going to do that right now because I'm not doing stuff with Games Workshop, although we will talk about Games Workshop. Uh, but we are doing our monthly talk show. And I have with me, as always, Zach and Sean.
Hello.
Hey!
And we are going to talk to you about geeky things. Um, we apologize that we've taken such a long break. I promise we will have lots of things tied into our "What Will Our Heroes Do with the Dragon," which is my fun catchphrase for this kind of this stream, because we will definitely next week get back to "What Will Our Heroes Do About the Dragon." Um, and I apologize because I was running around and didn't have time to properly, completely plan our adventure, so I don't want to throw them into an adventure that's half done. I don't like doing that, so we will do that next week. And I'm just going to update this. Let's talk. Sorry, guys. We had a little bit of a slower start today. All right. All of the stream things are right. You will not yell at me for our mishaps. As you can see, I have my
We'll
YouTube.
yell at you for other things.
That's true. And if we end this somewhat early, I may throw a painting video up as well. But this is going to be a unique kind of stream because we're going to do a lot of stuff in this stream. We're going to talk, but I'm also going to open stuff. I'm also going to build models. I don't know. We're going to try this. This is an experimental idea. So as we always do, we start out with an icebreaker question. And this one is, what gaming company has let you down the most? I think I said that right.
It was entertainment company, but close enough.
Entertainment company. All right. I didn't say it right. I knew it was screwed up. So entertainment company, how let you down the most. So I don't have a good answer for this at the current moment. So I'm going to let others jump into the conversation first. And you might also notice I'm wearing glasses. I should actually mention that. I am not blind. I did not get surgery or anything. These are to help with computers, so these are not prescription glasses, but I'm trying it out. Please let me know how the glasses are.
Yay!
Take it away.
Anyway, sure, I'll go ahead with this. This is. I'm not going to name the company that I'm going to have a rant. Well, more than one rant about later. Ha 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 ha. But that company did inspire this question.
Okay.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Zach's mad at someone.
I honestly would say one of the biggest entertainment kick in the nads. How do you like that one?
Okay.
I got a little chuckle. That means I win. I don't know what I win, but I do win.
Okay.
Is the second edition of the Warhammer 40K role-playing games.
Oh, wow.
When they were coming out. Yeah, no, they were just not well thought out, not good. You can tell, like, someone tried and then they failed horribly. Then the license got kicked out from underneath them. And then those people, which is a German company whose name I do not remember and will not try to pronounce, attempted to essentially make an almost lore agnostic game where you could have every faction be with each other based on like different skill points you could have with each other. Relative to like, if you were a space marine versus a guardsman, you'd still somehow be in the same party. You just massively buff up the guardsman.
Okay.
But they literally refused to publish anything. They put out the core book once and then did nothing. And for over a year, they did absolutely nothing with this IP until it reverted to another company who now has to rework their shitty system into something playable. And it's just like this constant, you have a nice IP, it shouldn't be this hard. Not kicking it down the line and making bad stuff, or just refusing to address it.
Okay. So we're not going to say the companies that we feel have let us down. That's part of the question.
Oh no, there are multiple companies in this, and they're very easy to find.
Oh, okay.
Are we saying names?
But are we saying the name?
Yeah, you can say names if you want. I just honestly can't remember them off the top of my head.
Oh.
If you're going to do that much, you don't even know their name.
Oh no, I just don't remember the names off the top of my head. I could easily find out their name.
Okay, no, I didn't know.
You want me to find out their names now?
No, I don't need them. But I was saying I didn't know if that was part of the nuance of the question. That's why I was asking the question.
Yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Okay.
You can say names or be, I don't know, what's the word for it? You can obfuscate it.
That is quite the SAT word there.
Yeah.
No, I prefer more the Vampire the Masquerade word.
Obfuscate.
John got it. He almost got it.
That is an ability in Vampire the Masquerade.
Obfuscate.
Yes. It is a discipline, if we're going to use the right term from Vampire the Masquerade.
Okay, I'm just gonna call an ability because fuck their naming conventions for all of their shit when it comes to that character sheet, because you have talents, abilities, and knowledges that are all functionally skills,
Correct.
but they refuse to call them such because they're like, ah.
Well, I think they were trying to go with a more unique system, so they wanted everything to sound more unique than it really was.
Okay, they were on the forefront of the point five system, and they couldn't. Nope, they had to go all fancy and just like that's bad game design. You don't need to fix something isn't broken, and you don't need to make something more complicated just for the sake of making it more complicated.
All right, so now we've talked about like 7 companies that have let Zach down. We just keep adding more companies to the list of people that have hurt Zach as a child, a teenager, and now an adult.
Many places have hurt me.
Okay, on that note, Sean, do you have? I probably should have went with the second question. I still don't know what the second question was, but probably
Made it up yet.
I probably
I was
should
just gonna make one up.
I should have probably went with the second question. That's what I've learned about this exercise. Is don't go with the first. Don't go with the first question. All right. So, do you have an answer to this perplexing but intriguing question?
Entertainment company that has disappointed me the most. I mean, I guess go like one of the video game companies.
Okay, so we're gonna
EA
make.
free.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's very easy. Go for it.
No, I mean EA is just kind of a bunch of jerks.
But they make Grand Theft
Yes,
Auto.
please kick them.
Do they?
No, they don't.
No, I thought that's Rocksteady.
That's a rock. That's a total lie. So keep going.
No, EA, they're the ones who like obviously they just don't give a shit about the actual gamers. Everything's all microtransactions and pay to win.
Gotcha. Is there a particular title in mind or an example that you can give our viewers who might, in fact, love EA and how it's sucking their money dry?
Well, they're currently. I mean, this is kind of like the frustrating thing. They currently have the exclusive video game rights with Disney for Star Wars, so they're behind the most recent iteration of Star Wars Battlefront games. I think they did
That's true.
Fallen Order, but like with the Battlefront, like they got it becomes a whole like pay to win. Like like sure you can spend hundreds of hours to get the best guns and equipment and everything, or you can just pay $50. Thanks. Like.
All right. So they have hurt you.
Well, yeah, I just hate microtransactions and just generally I feel like most multiplayer experiences nowadays is just designed to hurt you. Like,
Okay. So they always hurt you. That's what you're saying.
yes, and that's why I will be antisocial and just stick with my single player experiences. Thank you.
Now,
I can't say that you're wrong.
what about something like, for instance, Dark Alliance, like co-op multiplayer games?
I mean, I'd definitely be more open to cooperative games.
Okay.
But I also heard Dark Alliance was kind of bleh, so.
It is. Probably gonna play some later. So for folks that just heard me say that, please still come and watch, even though it might be meh. I don't know. I'm gonna find out.
Now is it Matt or Black?
Um, Also, just out of curiosity, I will say not to defend companies, but if you guys didn't get a chance to see my first impressions of Pokemon United, which is actually a massive player online game that's free, it actually doesn't have any microtransactions in it. You have to grind to buy everything.
Yay!
Is that Nintendo still or Game Freak?
I don't know who actually. I don't know who makes that. I don't even think it's. I think it's most of those are made by the Pokemon Company. I could be wrong though. Excuse me.
I know at least like the original handheld RPGs or whatever is Game Freak is what develops them.
I think it is Game Freak, but it's yeah, but it is a massive online player game. It's pretty fun actually. It's very weird. You actually still level up Pokemon. Like they have levels like in the RPG. They actually take into consideration weaknesses. You have to score on goals. It's pretty cool. But but I have not seen a way to do microtransactions. Now I didn't go to the Nintendo store and see if there is a way to pay for stuff, but I don't think so. I don't think you can actually pay for those things. But anyway, cool. I'm gonna say Warner Brothers for Space Jam 2. Where the fuck we're gonna call that movie? That movie was horrible. There were some wonderful moments in it, but it was a piece of kind of garbage. There was so much going on. Like I'm gonna say something from a designing standpoint. If you have characters playing basketball on a court, and you put 1,000 other characters watching them behind them, it is so distracting to watch what you're watching. Because you have all these other cartoon characters, you have all these other IPs, you have all this other crap that you're trying to look at. And in general, the actual plot of the movie is just not good.
Wasn't like his son kidnapped or something?
It's like Tron meets something else. So the premise of the movie is that the WB server, which is this AI,
it's the fucking Matrix.
This AI program. So essentially, a long time ago in a far off land, when all this CGI computer stuff happened, there was a brief minute where somebody thought that there was a company or it was an alliance of companies that were trying to do this thing where they're like, well, the CGI is so good that we could literally like not pay actors to act anymore. There was a brief minute where that like was a thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if everybody remembers that, but it was like in the news, it was like a real thing, and then it all went away. But it was like a real thing for a minute, where like they were gonna just CGI an actor and like have the actor come in and just do the voiceover work, so that they could like always have these roles, or like it was gonna be this like new frontier of filmmaking. Bullshit.
That sounds terrible.
It never worked. It didn't happen. It stopped. But the idea behind it is that it kind of is I think they're trying to make fun of that, because that's the whole idea, is that like this like WB server is going to like take him as a basketball player and like put him in all this like movies, because they're gonna just like CGI scan him so he can like play basketball but still be a motion picture star. It's so stupid. But yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And then apparently he goes to the reject part of the server when he gets sucked into it. And of course that's where Bugs Bunny is. And Bugs Bunny's all alone because all the other Toons like went to other places that were more exciting on the server. It was so stupid. I'm like, so Bugs is literally by himself doing his gags with no one. And it goes
there was also just the whole Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Cameo.
Rick and Morty show up at one point.
What?
Yeah, they drop off
Marvin the Martian.
Tasmanian Devil.
Tasmanian Devil, right. Because they steal Marvin the Martian's ship to get off of Toon World. And then there's a running gag of like Marvin the Martian trying to get back and like find them. But yeah, it's really weird.
So, the There is the clip of Rick and Morty online somewhere throwing the Tasmanian devil at like LeBron James, and it's just so bad
It's weird.
because
It's just weird.
unlike every other instance of Rick and Morty being out in the open, they're not in on the joke.
Sure.
They're not making a joke. They're not being sarcastic. They're just being shitty.
Well, it's just a lot of weird camera. And like even they did Justice League Unlimited. Like they had the Justice League animated series people there at one point. Like
That hurt.
there was a lot of. And then there were Hanna-Barbera characters there because they owe the IP Warner Brothers to them. So we had like, you know, it was just so much stuff. It was so much stuff. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand anything. And it was just weird. Like, it's just the whole premise of just him being this dad that's like, you gotta do drills, do basketball. Like, it was so. I like.
Is it High School Musical now?
I don't.
Yes.
It was just weird.
It was like, Dad, no, I want to make basketball computer games.
Right.
And he's like, no, you gotta play basketball. And he's like, I'm like, what the fuck? Is this like a shitty 90s ironic turn? No, they're being serious about it. Okay.
Yeah, it was really weird. I just didn't understand Space Jam at all. And then, I don't know, I was like in between about the characters being CGI'd. So like three-dimensional Looney Tune characters, which was weird.
I mean, on the general, I just don't like how all animation now has gone through to 3D animation. Like, well, whatever, just
Right.
2D, hand-drawn.
Because that's expensive.
And I know, but it's just, meh.
Well, but it was also that weird CGI that was like they had fur now, and it was like he had
They
actual.
go full Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, kind of. And Granny.
Ew.
It was just weird. But like I just the movie was real bad. Like it lost something. It was like it wasn't even trying to like just remake the other one. It was like just it like
And just like the trailers I've seen, it seems like, what's his name, LeBron James. Like, at least like, what was it, Michael Jordan? Like, it seemed like he could like somewhat hold his own acting. Maybe.
No, like, but that's part of the fun. Like, they recognized everything was bad,
Right,
and they
but
were
like,
camping as shit.
it just seems like, I don't know. It just seems even LeBron James just even less believable playing himself.
Yes.
yeah,
I think also one of the reviews I read, because I refused to go see this movie.
Sure.
I knew it would hurt my soul.
That's probably true.
Was there's a whole thing where essentially it's just cashing out on this whole, you know what? No, I'm not gonna. I have a half-formed brand. I'm not gonna give you a half brand. I'll give you a full-formed brand on other stuff.
Okay.
Never mind. Yeah, so go ahead. Someone else talk.
He refused to yell about something.
No. I'm refusing to give you a half-formed brand. If I had a full opinion on something that was fully done, then yeah, I would yell.
Okay.
No question.
I'm utterly confused, but that's fine. So, yes, I did not like that. They let me down. Space Jam, unfortunately, as much as I thought you were going to be kind of cool, that's not true. I kind of did. I mean, I sort of. You could tell from the trailers that the movie didn't really have much. Because
Right.
you could tell the way that they shot, like the way that they released the trailer or like what was in it, that the movie was very basic and that it didn't have a lot going on. You could actually pretty much tell from that.
Right. Let's all get mad because Lola Bunny isn't sexy.
That's weird.
I gotta say, watching the furries freak the fuck out was amazing.
And that was just like one of the complaints on the internet. That was when they first released.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
saying.
It sounded like John didn't know what I was referring to. Maybe.
That's weird. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it was weird. I don't actually. It's not a personal. I didn't care. Like it's just.
I think the real issue was It's like the Jessica Rabbit-esque thing, except a lot of the people who complained about it hit puberty at the time this movie came out. And so probably one of their first real sexual thoughts was like, oh damn, that rabbit got booty.
Oh, I'm sorry for taking this to a weird place.
Cool.
That's just the internet.
Yeah, I didn't think that's where we were gonna go with that. So I'm gonna transition from rabbit booty to our other. Thank God I was actually like applying paint to a model for a minute, because I probably would have reacted in a very weird way to that. Oh, that's funny. All right, so we're gonna take a step away from the rabbit booty, which I know that sounded terrible the way I just said that. That's weird. I don't understand, why do people sexualize a rabbit? I mean, at least when it was Jessica Rabbit,
It was
she
the
was-
studio sexualized the
at
rabbit.
least when it was Jessica Rabbit, she was actually a person, and it was based on a kind of a more adult book, so that made a little bit more sense.
Blame the studio for making a rabbit with a fine ass booty, and then people freaking out when that booty went away.
I think you need to stop saying fine ass booty. Like, I think that needs to stop now. So, all right. On that note, let's move on to topic number 1, which I feel like is going to enrage Zach into a form of frenzy.
Oh no, this time I'll be able to yell.
Wait, what?
This time
Oh, yeah,
I'll have
you
an
will
opinion
go into-
yell.
But why do you not normally yell? Because I consider what you normally do yelling.
No,
Yes,
no,
'cause
no.
He stopped yelling halfway through his last rant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's saying you will get the full rant this time.
Okay, great. So Games Workshop wanted to go over some of the new things on the block with them. I want to also start off by apologizing to you guys that I do not have some of those new things to show you. I know I did a little bit of an introduction to, we were building some of the Dominion models, the new orcs, which I am very excited about them for Age of Sigmar. Because they are crazy, weird, gonna stand up and murder your face orcs. But
Oh yeah, the cool boys,
whatever, yeah, the cruel boys.
the fuck orcs. There we go. They're the fuck orcs.
Or we could say that, the fuck orcs. That's good in PC. That's good. That's good. It's good. We got standards here. Fuck orcs. So we have that, and then that of course brought a slew of, similar to what they've done in other instances. We have the like, $200 box you really want to play, to the, why is this site in euros? It's weird. The like $150 box, the $40 and $20, so basically smaller, scaled down versions of the box, so that you can get your army on. Because there's the Warhammer Extremist, which has similar stuff, but if you get the Dominion box, it actually has more stuff in it. But I think more of the differences between those two boxes is that and we have 4 people watched us. That is awesome. And if you guys have questions, please post them in the comments. We are talking about geeky things, the State of Geek, our talk show. Please do not hesitate to ask us questions and participate in the conversations we're having. We're talking about GW right now.
If you want, try to enrage me. It's very easy.
Yeah, just say hi. No, it's terrible. I shouldn't have said that. So the difference in this box is that, actually, I'm kind of pissed about this box. Now that I'm looking at it, it says terrain in it. Fuck you, GW. I didn't get any terrain in my box. You guys suck. Damn it. They actually is legit. What happened?
They're saying starting off on a high note, huh?
Well, I don't usually get pissed, but I just looked at this and it has terrain in it. I wanted terrain.
Wait. Is it cardboard terrain?
No. This is model terrain. This is real terrain.
Well, supposed to be.
You fuck faces. Damn you. Of course I lose out. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, did they do... Yes, they did. Did they do the thing where I could buy... No, I already have the shaman piece. You bastards. These are the same models I got in the other box. But look at this gorgeous terrain. You fucking bastards. I hate you. What is that? Some sort of... Or, God damn it. Some sort of elemental orb thing. Big giant statue. Alright, well, whatever.
What the fuck are you complaining about?
I don't like that they gave terrain in the box that also has bottles that were in the $200 box. So
Oh.
this box is lesser because it doesn't come with a collector's edition handbook, rule book. In fact, it looks like it comes with a, like, if I'm not mistaken, it's the, like, shorter, skimpy down rule book. Which, to be fair, the core rule book I got in the Dominion box, it's really just 3/4 of it is lore, and it's just nice and bound and it's a collector's edition of the damn book. You got 60 models in that box. You're definitely not getting 60 miniatures in this box, but you're getting terrain as opposed to the miniatures. So, different things. No, you broke out on that one.
Sorry, I was trying to be whispery. It's all bullshit.
Then we also have, the Stormcast Turtles Vindictor's paint set. And we have the Oruk War Clans. Oh, God. Gutrappa? I don't know how to say any of these names. Gutrippas? Yeah. For anyone that's an Orc player now, there's some tongue-twisted fucking craziness that you got to say for some of these unit names. Because I was doing a review of them in the book, and damn, some of them have they got a lot going on in there.
They're making it so you have to respect their IP by not being able to play it.
It's ridiculous. Oh, and here's the terrain by itself. Of course I could buy the terrain by itself. But not the cool little Orby thing that was in the box. You guys suck. Okay, cool. So they got a trade pack. We got Age of Sigmar. Oh, those are just the general spells. Those are the endless spells. The general. Why are they re-releasing that? Did they stop selling them? The big box of sorcery stuff, or did they just put more in the box? I'm guessing they just. Oh no, those vines. They put more in the box. So they made a larger box for the sorcery stuff. For they're the endless spells that everybody can take, not the specific endless spells for your army. If you guys go to Games Workshop and go to pre-order, you can see this stuff too. That's where I'm looking at all this. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Forbidden Power. Who gets that? Oh, that looks disgusting. Zach, do you remember who gets like something that looks like the inside of a worm?
Nope.
Bones? Okay, cool.
Probably, if it's a worm, though, it may be Soul Blight?
I guess.
I don't know.
I mean, I see Nagesh's head, but I thought that was an endless spell that was different. There was a common one you could get, and then there's also a guy in like this is probably Forbidden Power is probably the bone Asiako whatever Bone Reapers. I think that's who. I think it's their endless spells. I don't think they ever made them because it's all skeletal kind of stuff. That's weird. All right, whatever. What else we got? What are these things? Gaunt's Ghosts. That's from 40K. So you get those guys.
Yep. The very long-running book series with official models.
Yes. So that's that. We got a couple of things from the Black Library. Now I'm going to go to new because this is where I get to have my first rant, and then Zach can let it go with his. So here's where I got pissed because you will notice on the new releases there is this wonderful box all the way at the bottom, which is the Beast Snaga Orcs Army Set. I'm mad because this channel would have actually had a review of it. I can't review it because these assholes. I'm gonna let it rip. Simply just didn't send it to my local game store. They literally forgot. and then expect my local game store to be able to sell things to the public without issues.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this to Games Workshop in a very polite way. If you want to keep retailers in business, you gotta like ship your shit. Because
So the problem with that is there's no incentive for them really to keep people in business besides themselves.
well, right, but I'll double down on that. If you'd like to have that model, then build a Games Workshop store in my state.
Nope.
So
Actually, no, there is one relatively close by.
that's not in my state.
Yeah. In New York. Yeah, it's in New York State.
Where is there a Games Workshop store in New York? That's like within my region, like within, not me driving.
Yeah, no,
an hour
I
and a half.
understand. I'll, rather than dox you, I guess, by posting
No, it's fine.
here's Games Workshop stores.
No, it's fine. If there is one, then I apologize that I didn't know where it was. But the only one that I knew was in Connecticut, not in New York. Which people know I'm in New York, so it's fine. I'm not gonna. But
Yeah, let's see. There's the one stamp.
that's the one I knew about.
Yeah, my mistake. I thought it was closer. I honestly thought it was closer. You're right. It is just in Stanford.
Okay, so
My mistake. I apologize.
which is fine because it is a shorter drive. But it would be nice if there was one in my actual state. There was one here in Palisades Mall, but you closed it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, don't forget about the ones in New York City, but fuck them because they're New York City.
I got him on 24. I think were you gonna say, oh, like rip it, like because rip it, go get angry. I think you were trying to say that, but I don't. I'm so confused again. So I would have had a review of this, but I can't. And here's why I'm really pissed about a review of this. I was really excited about this box because the models are insane. And I wanted to go over the rules, and I wanted to give you guys a whole thing. And because they're nuts, because they're basically them introducing Squigs into 40K, which they have, but this is a much more sensational way that they've done that. And the models are just crazy because it's them just like bolting armor on the side of creatures they can't control. And they got, some of them have robotic legs, some of them don't. It's very weird. And like one of these models is literally they took the Squig, cut off its legs, put a wheel on it, and there is a git or goblin riding it with a dagger, with a, not a dagger, it is a sharpened railroad spike. Oh my god, and he has a missile strapped to his back. All right. My assessment of that model is that there is some sort of death wish, or that's probably a model you throw at a unit and blow it up. If I had to guess.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume. Because that's the way that orcs and goblins usually play in 40K, where you just blow them up. And that is usually how Squigs were introduced in the game, because that is what Squigs were doing. They would just take bombs and run them into people and then blow up. But
Or sometimes the Squigs were bred to be explosive.
that's true too. Or they were shot out of cannons and shit. But anyway. And yeah, there's just a really cool model. So I really wanted to like go through this army with you guys. But alas, we got it again. Alas, GW are a bunch of a-holes and did not send it to the store that I go to. And that is annoying. Because I would have loved for them to do it. And again, I just want to support my local retailers. I want them to be able to support this game. And just in general, and not to say that any retailer has given me the specific feedback, but I know for a fact that retailers have to sacrifice so much of their store to carry GW stuff. That if you're going to give them that kind of limitation that they have to like put so much of your product out, you should do at least a favor back and actually supply the product when it comes out. That's my rant. That's where I'm at. That was a little bit more controlled. Zach, do you have anything else to share about the GW powerhouse that it is?
I will after you talk about the dragons.
Okay.
Because we forgot to talk about the dragons.
Yes. So we've gone through some new releases, which is the Dominion box, some of the rule books. There are some other things. We've talked a lot about the Realmscape garish expansion, which are the wonderful overpriced pieces of cardboard that they're going to try to sell you as mats, which we've done a whole segment about those. So if you want to go back and watch an older show, yeah, we had our rant about this crap and how this is just dumb. Get some high quality cardboard, and they're going to charge you like $60 for high quality cardboard. Go buy a mat. It's cheaper and it's nicer, and you can reuse it. Nothing else really big. Some more Blood Bowl dice, because apparently the Ogre team didn't have all their equipment, so they finally made it. That's it. So that's it for GW in its pre-order and new releases. Now,
Well, oh yeah, there you go. Sorry, I was like, oh wait, there's more, and then you're like, oh no, the pre-orders and
right.
yeah,
So
and
technically, this is not a pre-order, but it was just announced. Okay. So they have not put this down for pre-order yet, but they made it. Well, actually, they made two announcements. So, and this actually this will definitely set Zach off. The second thing I'm going to talk about, which I didn't tell him I was going to talk about this, but I did that on purpose because I knew he would get angry, and we like anger here. Anger's good. Anger leads to the dark side. It's good.
yay, dark side.
Let's see here. Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Let's go. It's fine. It's all good. So, there's more things. Realms aren't ready for the... What the hell is that? Our War Clan. Dirty Tricks and Stinky Monsters. Oh, that's right, because they have a new unit with on top of a giant monster. So what they talked about was they are bringing dragons back to the world of Sigmar. So if you are a fantasy player, you are very familiar with dragons because they were all over fantasy. You could get dragons, mostly as mounts.
Giant lizard things, right?
The giant lizard things. That's right. They were mostly wyverns. That was really weird. I just heard like a voice that wasn't either of the two of you. So hey, if there are spirits here with me on this mic, rock on with your bad selves. Yeah, so they called them wyverns. They didn't really say dragon in fantasy. They had some, but they were mostly like wyverns that were riding mounts for a lot of people. But anyway, dragons are back. So we got our first look at the dragon models they'll be releasing, aka one model that has two variant builds. But I'm going to let Zach introduce this because I think this is where his rant comes in, because I keep using the word dragon because if you're a person who read fantasy, is an RPG nerd, or has been in any other context where fantasy characters exist, you would use the word dragon. But alas, my friends, you don't know Games Workshop because that's not good enough. We have to come up with another word, which is coffin. Did I say that right or no?
John, can you try saying that word because
Dracoffin?
I don't know. I want to hear another person say it.
Is it Dracoffin? Am I right? Is that the way you say that word?
Draconith?
Or Dragonith? Is
Yeah,
it that?
I think it's Draconith.
Dragonith? Okay.
Onith? I don't know.
Wherever the fuck that word is. Because we can't just say dragon, goddammit. Alright, go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, fuck that. That's a big, scaly fucking lizard with wings. That's a fucking dragon bullshit, motherfucker.
Well, does it have 6 limbs or 4?
They have four legs, and
Okay,
two
that's
wings.
a dragon.
Yeah, they're not a wyvern.
Yeah,
I've counted.
Oh yeah, wyvern has only 2 legs, and its
Yes.
and its arms are attached to its wings.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which it doesn't have wings. It doesn't have arms. It has wings.
Well, it's like bat arm wing.
Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
The claws are attached to the wings.
Right.
But yeah, fuck that shit. This is another thing of we can't use the word elves because anybody can use the word elves. So we're gonna do, I don't know, elves.
Right.
And what's the difference? No difference. So fuck you, you limey pricks.
Okay. Zach went completely into just like, I don't know. It was like it was an American version of an Englishman getting angry. That was really weird. You lie me, get bastards. All right. So yes, so we have dragon. Fuck that word. I'm not saying that word. Dragon. It's a goddamn dragon. I don't want
It's
it.
a dragon.
It's a dragon. So we have dragons back now. Where I do think that the models are very cool, I'm surprised. I thought Zach was going to add this into his rant. I will also join Zach in not liking the fact that the variant builds, it is the same pose, but all you're changing is the wings and the head. Nope.
Yep.
Nope. I correct myself.
Oh wait, there's one part of the body that's slightly fucked up.
What do you mean it's slightly fucked up?
On the second build, it has like those scars
It has the
on
what?
the torso.
It has what?
It has those scars on the torso,
Oh.
on the neck.
Oh. Okay.
Actually, it goes down a little bit.
Right, but essentially that means that it's just a different headpiece. The rest of the model is exactly the same.
Yeah,
Maybe-
no, I got thrown off by the paint being different a little bit.
Maybe
I
the
thought,
tail is
oh,
it seems like to me, if I'm just with my trained eye of like model making, I think it looks like maybe the end of the tail, the head. I want to say the left wing is slightly different, but but at most
Yeah.
it's probably those three pieces. It's
the left wing is not. No, I think it's not really different. I think it's literally just a slightly different angle from the camera.
I think so too, which is why I think the tail's the same too. I think it's just the head. I think literally all you change in this model is the head, and you don't put all the armor shit on them.
Yeah,
Because probably the scar is hidden by the armor, maybe, or just by the head being different. But anyway,
yeah, no, it's the head thing because it goes down. The scar goes down the neck.
yeah, so that it's a different head. It's 100%.
But I gotta say, the first dragon, I can't take it seriously because on that like tripart photo,
Okay.
the bottom left-hand photo, all I can imagine is someone with their tongue sticking out of their mouth slightly, like in the corner, like they're thinking a little bit too hard. That's the fucking tooth there.
Oh,
Ooh.
I guess when you see the model though, it might look better. But all I know is that I'm annoyed because it's the same model. So
Yeah.
that instantly pisses me off because I'm sorry, but this whole bullshit. Like I hate one model kit where I have to like because I'm gonna be honest. I'm one of those players right here. I have a Sons of Behemoth army, and I didn't buy two kits to build varying big giants. Like I was not gonna do that. I think it's an insult to have to spend $125 or God only knows what this thing will be. I'm sure it's going to be around that. It's probably going to be 160, 170.
At least 150.
It's somewhere in there because it's going to be as big as the Giants. Because it is. I think they have a picture in the. Oh, they don't have a picture in that. They
don't have a height picture.
There was a picture somewhere. I thought there was a picture somewhere, but they are meant to. Oh, it's when you look at the video. That's where it is because they have a video like an intro trailer, but they are meant to be as big as the Giants. I'm not buying two of these now. Also, other thing that I don't really understand. So obviously, if you guys didn't know it, for people that don't play Age of Sigmar, the first dragon goes with the Stormcast Eternals. Why they need a dragon? Have no clue.
They already have fucking dragons.
Well, right, they have those things, but they do. But my point is that they already have like a ton of other crazy crap that can kill you. They don't need a giant monster to add to their ranks. And then the other one goes with who do they go with? Detail work. I forgot.
The second?
The second dragon.
one.
I forgot who he goes
It's
with.
supposed to be. It's still an order dragon, but not a Stormcast dragon because it's been too fucked up for too long, something like that.
Oh, so it's just a free range, like anybody in order can take it? Oh, that's stupid.
No, I think the thing is also the top one. Anybody in order can take it also. I think
Well,
it's literally just different flavor of the same thing.
yeah. Well, anyway. Well, because they say specifically the first one is Stormcast Eternals. In alliance with the Stormcast Eternals, his kin might once again rise to greatness. So the first one is supposed to be with Stormcast Eternals. That's why he has the armor of the Stormcast Eternals. But without an invite to Sigmar's party, Kurt has been scoring. Oh, okay. So he's a free roam dragon from the world of monsters. That's what he is.
He's a free range dragon.
Yeah.
They've been feeding him chickens.
Seeking vengeance. Oh, that's okay. Seeking vengeance for his scrambled kin. Oh. He's talking about people making eggs out of dragons.
No, they have the weird little picture above of like the weird centaur dude ripping the head off dragons and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
he is just a violet messed up.
Yeah, he's PTSD dragon.
Essentially. You have no doubt the return of such power figure will have massive, far-reaching effects in the mortal realms, especially for the Stormcast Eternals, who benefit from Sigmar's pact. Okay, so yes, they even get the messed up, not adjusted drag. Why do they get both dragons? At least if it was.
Because fuck you.
Oh, that's so stupid. And he probably has some ridiculous rules because he's like mentally fucked up. But anyway, so that was dragons, and then last but not least, and this is the thing I really thought would make him mad, is they made some announcements around a very far but distant game that I just spoke about, which is Warhammer Fantasy.
Square bases?
What happened?
Square bases?
So they did talk about square bases, but they did also talk about how it will be a regiment-style game.
Mm-hmm.
It will be... I can't find the article, so I'm sorry. But it will be a regiment-based game. It will be much more rules-based in that traditional charging and flanking kind of way, with more updated and streamlined rules.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I thought was going to get Zach going on this is that when I read the article, it was very cognizant that I think they are trying to kind of bridge the gap and come after our friends at Mantic Games with Kings of War. Because it seems like the new fantasy game is very similar to Kings of War.
So I'm going to give the Kings of War community credit on this one. They're going to shit all over this.
Well, I'm sure they will, but...
They recognize that GW has fucked them over way too many times, including the great ending.
Correct.
And they have a rule set that works in a community that actually is nice and isn't,
I can't find the article.
awful to people.
Mm-hmm.
So while I think that GW will try to steal, I'm not going to even say steal because they do have the market share.
Right.
I don't think Mantic is really threatened by them, or at least not existential.
I don't think that they're threatened by it, but I'm just saying I read the article as a very clear. It felt like it was a very clear attempt for them to bring the game back and bring it in a way that could compete with it, because they realized that, for all intents and purposes, like, Mantic Games has, obviously Kings of War has its own dynamic and rule set, and it is different, but it did fill a niche because there were those fantasy players that didn't have anything to play or that style kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
And Kings of War helped to fill that gap for them. And and just to call out Kings of War on some stuff, like, and we've talked about it, like, it is no surprise that they have used very similar units. But again, it's all
They had the entire Uncharted Empires from the second edition.
Right.
Literally, is just, hey, these armies are dying because of the
Right.
great destruction,
Well,
the end time.
Well, right. So I mean, like to get started, they did take, they have their unique armies, they have their unique perspective, but they also kind of like sprinkled in a little, like they're like the Ratkin or really the Skaven, like, but again, that's because it's all based on fantasy, so everybody's using the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because in fantasy there are rat people, in fantasy there are goblins, in fantasy there are orcs, in fantasy there are ogres, so like they are going to use the same things because they're fantasy creatures. I think that
Hey, it's open IP.
right. I think Mantic does a great job of like turning the script a little bit or coming up with some unique ways. Like again, abyssal dwarfs, obviously the new halflings, which we talked all about a couple of weeks ago. Just different ways to take that traditional fantasy character but put them into a unique model set or like other stuff. So where I say that I think they obviously filled the void and like took some advantage of the fact that the game wasn't there. I don't want that to be misconstrued that I think that Mantic Games is not an original company, because their models are very original and their designs are very original and their lore. So I don't want to cast that dispersion.
We're not saying that at all. What I think we are both agreeing on is there was a niche that they filled.
Correct.
However, they have taken those aspects and made them their own.
Yes, 100%.
In both the lore mechanics and now as they are putting them out model wise.
Yes.
They aren't. They're not blatantly ripping anybody off. They're
Correct.
saying, okay, we have fucking ogres. Cool. They're not crazy gluttons like you guys are. They're herds people who hunt fucking mammoths, and then every once in a while they go out to make money, because you don't get money hunting mammoths.
Right. Absolutely. So like I said, they have their own unique thing going on, but they also have taken and elevated that too. But they also, understood and came from a place where, we've now switched over gears. So we're going to start talking about Mantic because we're talking about it. But
let me do my little rant on GW.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we're going back. I thought that was...
Yeah, so first off, fuck you, Games Workshop, the company. Not anybody specifically in Games Workshop, because I don't know who to blame there.
Sean, are you getting this? Are you writing this down for the complaint letter?
Yep, taking notes.
Fuck all of you GW bastards. To whom it may concern, fuck all of you GW bastards.
Yet again, so
we
discussed this last time.
I'm never going to get sponsored by
it's
these
not
people.
necessarily new news, but GW has said, hey, no more fan work.
Oh, okay. That's right. Now I know which rant it is.
Yeah, no more fan work. We consider that infringement on IP. So, fuck y'all. This has, of course, affected a lot of parts of YouTube. Most recently today, about an hour before we met up to talk about what we were going to discuss today, the main guy behind If the Emperor Gets a Text-to-Speech Device, put out a 25-minute video.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It was 25 minutes discussing, like, what the state of the project is, which is we're indefinitely going on hiatus now because we are afraid, like, even though we understand most likely we are in the right, because this is satire, this is parody, it would be nearly impossible to argue otherwise. We are terrified that this company who has this thing that we love has not only turned its back to us, but has essentially threatened us with lawsuits. Haven't done that explicitly yet. They know it's coming if they continue to put out stuff. It goes into all the various ways that they're like, some suggestions people have made, like, hey, how about you? Dear God, no. because we would have to change a lot about the actual work we've done
Right.
in order to then meld it with their grand vision, which would invalidate what we're doing anyway.
Now, again, for you folks that
And
are,
B,
oh, sorry. Okay.
that would also put us on their radar for getting sued. So go ahead, John. You're about to talk.
No. I was gonna just say, like, for folks that don't know what he is maybe referring, we had talked a lot about the whole Warhammer Plus service, and this relates a lot to that particular topic. So when he's talking about changing their formatting, you know, it has something to do with the impact there, because they're going to start offering, and this is tied to the whole creator thing. They're going to offer a lot of stuff that creators were doing on their channels, but now is sort of for lack of a better term, last ditch attempt to like create a streaming service for themselves.
Oh, yeah, no, it's completely. They have missed the boat on this, and they're trying to grow with the coconut. So if they told anybody on YouTube, on TikTok, anything like that, say, hey, if you make any fan content whatsoever, we will sue you now because we're making our own streaming site.
Right.
So rather than letting the community grow and engage with itself and introduce more people, they're just writing broad legal action. There's a zero tolerance policy. And this guy, I believe his name is, let me double check. Uh, da, 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 da. Yeah. Brava Alphabus. This guy who has been working on text-to-speech device for 8 years. And it is just a beloved series. Was in near tears the entire time he was talking about this. And how the people he's been working with for years and years have had breakdowns over this because they were wondering if they were now going to be sued.
Yeah.
If their stuff was going to be demonetized and copyright striked, because this is how they make some of their living. And he's already like, look, I just had a kid, but I have to accept that because we have to like essentially stop working on this and refocus our energy on completely other different stuff. I now have to find a job while taking care of my kid because Games Workshop has fucked us over.
Yeah.
And this guy still had the integrity to make sure to say, look, I don't want anybody to get in arms and call out anybody in Games Workshop. That's not what this is about. This is about the company, not the individuals.
Right.
I don't need anybody from Games Workshop to notice us and get put on our radar.
Well, right. So that's always that's the double-edged sword, right? So like most people want to maybe call out or do things like that, but it could actually harm the person more if you do that, because then.
And this guy, who has been nothing but just a fun, positive force in this community, has had his heart ripped out of him.
Yeah.
And it's a hard 25 minutes to listen to.
Sure.
And I can do nothing except be pissed off and just say yet again, fuck you, GW. You're an incredibly shitty and terrible company with a good IP, but your business practices cannot save you.
Yeah, it's
You
not.
continuously fuck off the community. You continuously fuck off your retail suppliers.
Yeah, they're not doing really good by a lot of people.
I don't understand how you think this is good business.
Yeah, I agree.
You are stuck in the past. When 8th edition rolled out and you had that new CEO come on, there was hope because hey, you actually started engaging on Facebook.
Right.
That was how low the bar was. You went on Facebook and talked to people.
Right.
Guess what? Not only does that not work anymore, that just shows how pathetic you are.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Now, for folks
Oh,
that are also wondering, like, so when he's talking about content creators, you might start to think, well, does that mean places like I'm a big fan of mini wargaming. If you say things like I don't want to be put on radar, do just that. Yes, that's true. Um, the like places like mini wargaming, which I'm a big fan of. Guerrilla Miniatures, which
tabletop tactics,
tabletop
uh,
tactics. Uh,
all those fun stuff.
like those folks. So so those guys don't think they're going anywhere because they're not.
I am afraid for them, actually.
I am, but they're not going to go anywhere because it is very subtle the differences of what they'll come after people for. It is more when you're using the right. So if you're doing things like, which has actually changed my tactics. So when we get everything actually painted and we start doing stuff, we are going to have to shy away from like campaign based stuff, or like when mini wargaming, they kind of have their own like they've taken the 40K universe, but they've kind of made it their own universe and had characters and had stuff and did things.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing with text to speech device. They had originally started out in that universe and then they radically diverged just by actually advancing the plot.
Well, right, but that's the distinction is that if you're taking the IP in any way and doing like original storytelling, that's where they're going to come after you. So like people that do battle reports or like me who does painting of models, they're not going to come after me because
I don't know, man.
well, they might.
I'm afraid for the whole like internet community.
Yeah, but they can't really
content creators.
It's very hard to come after somebody for that because you are giving credit. Like I do give credit to Games Workshop in every video that I do their models. I give them credit for their paints. I give them credit for their brushes. So I am crediting.
If they send you a cease and desist order, does that matter?
Well, then I would have to cease and desist. That's what the order says. And then I'll just go play.
Even though you are in the right.
Well, I would at least cease and desist until everybody figures that out. But yeah, I would then. But the good news is, guys, if that ever did happen, I got Mantic Games here. I got tons of other stuff to do. So, and I'll just play Marvel Crisis Protocol until I'm dead. So it's fine. I got plenty of other games to play.
Sean, you've been listening to us discuss this, and you are deep in various media holes, and you've studied some IP shit, I think, in your TV design, in your TV
I don't know where that's
program,
going.
right?
It's been a few years, but yeah.
Cool. What do you think about all this?
I'd say it's very muddy waters. I understand what you're referring to back with, like, things are satire or parody, and those are generally, protected forms of words. It's protected communication, protected content, at least as far as American courts are concerned.
Yeah.
GW, it's a British company. I don't know internationally what copyright laws are like. And so, I feel like that's when things get muddier, and especially even just like with American courts and like, fair use, free use, whatever it's called. As soon as, things start becoming monetized, that's when you start getting into dangerous territory as far as like, you're the content creator, you're making parodies, but like now you're making money off of somebody else's intellectual property. That's so without knowing all the details, it's hard for me to really side one way or the other. I agree with you guys that like it completely sucks that GW was just gonna go across and like try to shut everybody down. If they were smart, I would think they would want to like extend deals, and like if they're really gonna like try to create their own streaming servers, like, hey, everybody's already watching all these content creators. Why don't we just like create a thing for everybody to go to? That would be the smart thing in my opinion, rather than like
what they did, Sean, Except they said, if you continue making content without us, then we are going to sue the shit out of you. Instead, we want you to wage slave for us.
Yeah.
And
just
there was, I can't remember their name, but there was one content creator who was like, you guys aren't going to be compensating me the way I need to be based on what I'm
Right. No, I
making.
mean yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. I know that's also a huge problem. I'm not saying
So they
that.
just fucking deleted everything because they're like, it's either
No,
be sued.
I get that, and I get the emotions behind it, and I agree with you. It absolutely sucks that all this create content is being destroyed. As far as outright saying everybody, all the content creators are in their rights, legally speaking, it's muddy. I don't know.
right. So if I could jump back in for a sec. First, I wanted to say Gatamon24. I guess we could look it up, man. You're right.
You could,
Uh,
but I'm lazy.
We're also in the middle of the show. I'm yelling.
it's almost like we have Google phones or Google machines. No, the point is, we need a fact check. Gatamon, do you want to be a moderator? You could look up this stuff for us. Gatamon's good peoples. Gatamon told me to play Pokemon United, and I'm very happy. I thank him again, or her, or it. Are you an
You
ostrich?
could just say that. Them is.
I could have also said them. You're right. I like thinking that Gatamon is a graceful ostrich running in the distance. No.
I mean, it sounds like the name of the Pokemon, so
So the point is that what I was trying to say is so first off, I am not being monetized right now. I am trying to have you guys go to my Patreon and all that, but my Patreon has original content that is 100% mine. I made it. I created it. It's nobody else's. I'm a slacker in schoolwork. Okay, I'll take that. But yeah, so I'm trying to push you guys to my IP, which is mine. But the idea is that I do agree with Sean's point. I think it would be so much more opportunistic, which is not a word. Actually, it is a word. For them to approach content creators, like he said, to make deals. So have the popular content, and other companies have done similar approaches when trying to make a streaming service. Streaming content with like stuff that would be found on YouTube or other social media platforms. And it has been very successful because you get those personalities from those shows to push your content or to push your product. So, like for the gaming world,
Push it. Oh, good.
Ninja would be an example.
Mm-hmm.
So Ninja was a big gamer, and he basically got bought by Microsoft to play Microsoft games.
I like I had to just quickly include to play Microsoft game, not just like he was bought by Microsoft.
I mean, he kind of was.
Oh shit! Wait, gotta include that.
I mean, he kind of was, but
I mean, Microsoft owns Xbox, so there's a lot of games.
Yeah.
But like they did that very much so, where they did go to like top streamers to get them to be part of that. So it created more content for them. It created more things for them as far as revenue because they had the best people playing the games, making that content for them, or getting content without really having to make it or produce it. So because that's the smart end of the bargain with them, is that if a company does that right, you obviously now have another person creating content for you, and you don't have the cost, the budget, or any of the things that you need to do besides just paying that content creator. And as Zach pointed out, they can, in a lot of cases, make those content creators not get an equal share to what they are putting out, I think is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the benefits of working within a community that is already creating content for you without you having to put in a single dime versus creating this ban on them,
Oh,
branding them.
I think it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, this is shit from, I don't know, like the 50s?
Oh, okay, sure.
You know what I mean? Like just completely totalitarian, just utter bullshit. That's just like, cool, we're gonna stifle creativity in our own. Actually, no, maybe not 50s. More just almost dystopian cyberpunk in a way.
Nice. By the way, I didn't let Sean and Zach know this, but I've been painting a model while we've been talking about GW. So I don't know if you guys like when we do this. This is the like mixed. I'm trying to do a mixed show. We're gonna see how it goes. But I was painting one of
Is the model turning out very angry?
It actually is extremely angry because it's a black orc from Blood Bowl. So he's very pissed and he likes to hit people. So he's gonna come for your content, yeah, with his gold brass knuckles. So yeah. So that is the new season 2 orcs team that's in the box. I was painting one of those guys, or continuing to paint, which you can see the first part of that video over that I recorded yesterday, because I actually painted him yesterday. Wait, no, 2 days ago, because yesterday was not Tuesday. All right. So speaking of a company, I'm jumping to Mantic now. We spent a lot of time on GW. Holy shit!
We had a lot to scream about.
So that's we're gonna move a little faster. So let me. Oh, look at this with the. Oh no, it's not with the magic of cameras because I mess it up. Oh, new show, new ideas. Fuck it up. All right, go back there.
That should be the title.
Oh, I overlaid that the right way. Yes. All right. So that sort of worked. I was very excited, guys. I'm sorry. I have very little joys in life. Oh no, that's not true. Perfect figure for this topic. Yes, it was Gadabon24. That's why the channel loves you. Thank you. Because you agree with me. No, I'm kidding. So Mantic Games. Now, going back to this whole content thing, I want to start off by saying something. I don't think these guys are in the same boat at all. Because, one, they support creators. Thank you, Mantic Games. You've supported me. Secondly, I've actually seen, and I'm going to mention Kyle, because I love Kyle. Kyle
Pretzelton.
I've seen Kyle on Mini Wargaming. They had him in to do a playthrough of the new edition of Kings of War. So, very different in contrast as a company. Very much embracing content creators, wanting people to be out there playing the games, which I feel sad because he did that about a year ago. So he actually, did he do that during quarantine? Yeah, actually, I think he did do it during quarantine.
Yeah, he did it about
but
I want to say 4 months after the new edition dropped.
Yeah, so he did it around that time.
Right before COVID hit?
Yeah, right before COVID. So the idea is that he did it, and he played with Josh. Not Josh. I'm completely forgetting names now. Luca. He played with Luca. So he played with Luca, which I love Luca. And actually, I recently just watched a live stream with Steve and Cullen, and I actually told them that I was big fans.
Oh yeah, how he's now doing live streaming?
They're doing live streaming and they're doing Warhammer Fantasy. So if you watched, I love how we're just talking about streamers now. But if you, you should check them all out. And by the way, if any of them, if I'm ever cool enough for Matthew or Luca or Josh or any of the folks over at Mini Wargaming or Mountain Gaming, which is Steve's channel, if any of you guys, even Dave, if any of you ever watch me, that would be like the biggest honor on the planet. I'm a Vault member too from them. You should totally go and support them. I pay every month for their Vault so I can see videos and stuff. I love their battle reports. Anyway, so Kyle is a big supporter of them. So that just shows how different they are. They support content creators. They're definitely not coming and trying to copyright strike everybody and do all this craziness. So I do want to give Mantic Games a shout out. They don't have too many new things. We talked a lot about them a couple of weeks ago with the Halfling Army and some of the previews that they had.
Have you heard about the Overdrive game they're doing?
I was just going to mention the Overdrive game they were doing.
Okay.
That's really funny. So yes, there's an Overdrive game they're doing. Zach, you want to tell us a little more about it?
Oh, it's basically Space Blood Bowl. But it has a drafting system.
Oh.
So you have, I believe, a max of 6 players that you can draft with. Part of the game is literally each person drafts a player one at a time. And yeah, it's supposed to be a very quick game, and it has a giant man shark, and I love it.
Yes, and that would be one of the reasons. I'm just popping that in the chat so you can go see it, Sean.
Man shark.
In case. So yeah, it's called Overdrive. Let's see what your box gets. You have Overdrive, one plastic, Caradon giant, plastic, Bank Reborn giant, plastic.
I like how you just keep saying the word plastic.
Because that's what it says in the thing. You're yelling at me. Yeah.
No, I understand that. It's just the way you keep saying it.
It's plastic.
Plastic.
Wait, is that a bear? Oh, is there a Robo Bear?
Yes.
I have to buy this game immediately. Oh my god.
It's a Robo Bear versus a Shark Man.
Oh my god. These models are not. That's a tentacle monster. What is that? What is that? That's a mind flare and a suit of armor. What the fuck? That's robotics.
I've heard your voice go so high.
Yeah, this is crazy. I really like these models.
Did you see the Robo Spider too?
I did see the robot. What the hell is that? Is there just a man on a robotic wolf with? What is? There's just this game is nuts. Wait, do they have that model? Do they? Wait, I want to see more models. Oh, those are the turn markers. Okay. Yeah, so this is futuristic. That's weird.
They have
Space Blood Bowl.
Yeah, they have a Space Blood Bowl game. I don't remember exactly what it's called at the moment. Actually, I could.
Oh, hello there, friend. Sorry, I'm talking to the chat.
It is called. Where is it? Is it Dead Zone? No, it's not Dead Zone. That's the.
Well, Dead Zone is the futuristic. That's their like 40K game, right?
Yeah, no, it's a subset of Dead Zone. Dreadball. Dreadball is their space, like, Blood Bowl game. This is essentially their very quick version of that.
So it's like when they did with Blood Bowl something called Sevens.
Yes, which was already a format that that was made by fans that GW just started monetizing.
Well, sure. Well, that's all of Blood Bowl, though.
Yeah.
Okay, is that Zach you're talking with? Yes. It is.
Hi.
It is Zach I'm
Hi,
talking.
Jeff.
Who are you, stranger? I don't remember that name. Who is that?
I don't know.
I feel like that's someone we know.
I mean, I would hope so.
I mean, maybe.
Zach's got a stalker.
Zach has.
Yeah, he's Jeff.
Tell him Michael Goodman says hi.
Yo, shit. How you doing, bud?
What a greeting. Oh, wait. Goldman. I said Goodman. Sorry.
Yeah, I figured it was Goldman. I just figured you fucked up the name, or he fucked up some name.
No, it's my fault. He now wrote it in capital letters with a lot of exclamation points. Sorry.
Yeah, I figured it was him.
I'm sorry that I misread that. Like I said, these are not. It's all good. Okay. This is a whacked out game. That's awesome though. It's good to see you, sir, because I know who that is now. Yes. Good stuff. I love everyone. All right, so there's a lot in here. All right, so it's okay. You know what, for Mantic, I will say one thing. This is a little light on models.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be.
All right, it is like a little light, but it's like it's $120.
Yeah, it's $120, but you could buy it individually. The various stuff, if you already have it. The whole point is it's a quick skirmish thing using larger than average models that you draft.
Okay.
I believe the goal of each game is to be like 20 minutes.
Oh, wow. 20 minutes?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like 20, 30 minutes, yeah.
That's insane. what do you even do? If it's a Blood Bowl style game, how do you play Blood Bowl in 20 minutes?
You only have up to 3 people per team.
Right, but 20 minutes sounds a lot. Like, that sounds very fast.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be a very fast game. If I remember correctly, they had a demo of it on YouTube.
All right, well, I have to look at this further. Oh, wow, we got 5 people watching us. This is a big show. Okay. I guess the schedule thing worked. Who would have thought if I put a schedule and you guys knew we were live, more of you would come. It's amazing how that works when you plan stuff on the calendar. All right. I think we're going to get this. All right, so I did want to say that I am going to get what is it? I always forget the name of that game. League of Villainy?
League of Infamy?
Oh, Infamy. League of Villainy. That's a comic book thing. League of Infamy. God damn it, can't talk. I will be getting that at some point. So stay tuned for that. And I'm hoping if everything aligns, we can somehow make that the first in-person game we play. I'm going to try. I think I got to get this game too. Yes. I think we're all going to get this game, sir. Because this is pretty dope. And I would definitely buy expansions to this. So that's notably pretty cool. So we have a little bit of Overdrive. Yeah. And I mean, Sean, you're in, right? Robotic Sharks.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
All right.
Mind Flayers.
Mind Flayers that eat your face. Yeah. All that stuff. Armada. It's a good game. Don't know anything about it. But they got a new book that came out.
They also got released. They're releasing a whole bunch of models for it,
yes.
Which is Flyers.
Yes, which is one of the models I just showed on the screen. Yeah, it's the Salamander fly. No, wait, that's not it. That's for a different game. But yes, it looks like the book has like Goblin Flyers and other stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show the book again.
Basically, yeah, I was listening to an interview, Kyle, where he was talking about this. They wanted every faction to have like 2 unique flyers,
which is cool.
And these are little things. They're supposed to be like flying from their boats in the ship.
That's cool. Gives another dimension.
And they are releasing a whole bunch more ships. I believe they are releasing Dark Elves soon. Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff. Salamanders, which is the new big army. Oh, excuse me, for Kings of War. Excuse me again. So they have new army boxes. They do stuff. I actually have. No, I do not have that. I do have one thing that can be played in this army, which I haven't built yet. Yeah, they just got cool models. Some of the stuff in there, like, so some of their models they can do, like, so I have some of the Force of Nature, like Fire guys. They have a little bit they can mix in. Because Force of Nature, like, I love playing that. I've said this before. I love playing that. I love that army, and I love playing that army. I love them because it's a collection of things. So it's like nature got together with a bunch of other, creatures that would live in nature and been like, yo, stuff's getting screwed up. We got to all mess up.
We got Captain Planet this shit.
We got to. It's like adult Captain Planet, Forces of Nature. It's like, so in real life, instead of this, like, ambiguous man bringing nations together, in the real world, just the actual creatures would come kill you. That's what Force did. By the power.
I catch a word of that.
I don't know what that was. I consider that to be.
And stomp on you.
That's right.
I said that, and I kind of laughed at the same time because of how funny it was.
So that's going to be our sum up of Kings of War. We gave them a big spot in the last show, but we do love them. We have more coming, but that's going to be my hope that board game is going to be the first board game that we like physically play together in a world, where we can say hi to one another and not be afraid that we're going to get sick.
Yay!
All right, so now we're going to talk about Magic the Gathering really quick, and this is where Zach and I are going to have an argument. Because I like the new Magic set, and I know Zach doesn't. He hates it.
Well, hold on. Which Magic set are you talking?
The Forgotten Realms one, of course.
Oh, I'm talking about the new Jumpstart. Within like weeks.
Right. We could also talk about the new Jumpstart, which I do like Jumpstart, but I like the Forgotten Realms.
It's okay.
New set.
No, for the most part, I'm fine with it. It's just why is everything italicized?
Right. Well, all right. So this personally for me is why I like it. So we're gonna switch camps now because I have a treat for you guys. Oh, secret moment. It's coming.
Oh, Mike Goldman is also a Magic person, so please comment.
Yes. Please comment. But while you're commenting, I'm gonna open up 5. Count it 5. Forgotten Realms set boosters. We're gonna see what happens. I want to do a shout out to Undiscovered Realms for hooking me up. I actually haven't played since the pandemic. Wow. Michael. Jeez. Kind of fell out of MTG. Okay. I understand.
Yeah.
It happens. Most people kind of kept it going with Arena. All right. So I'm going to tell you why I like this set. Now, I'm going to say one thing about the set. I totally don't think it's worth it to get collector boosters. It's not worth it. There's a lot of duds in this set, so your money value will not come back to you twofold. I did open a collector booster and did get a foil dragon, a mythic, to be exact.
Which one?
The Inferno one, the red one.
Okay, that's fine.
It's but foiled and yeah, foiled. It's a really good card. But I think set boosters are amazingly awesome for this set. To be honest, I'm planning a wedding, so I can't spend money on cardboard crack. I understand that as well. So, yes. So, I like the set boosters. I think they're really cool. I'm going to open one right now. You can hear the crinkling of packs. My spirit animal on the first open. That's funny. So, set boosters are cool because you get multiple rares of them. That's why they're cool. Because this set, to get multiple rares and multiple art cards, that's really all you want out of this set. The cards are not particularly great because they all work around, a lot of the cards work around this dungeon system where you have to like trigger dungeon effects for things to happen. So I'm going to open packs, but I want Zach to tell me about the set. Oh, and my fan just blew that pack into the frame.
Yeah, no, it's just what the real issue I have besides the whole italicizing thing, which is just a little bit weird considering that italicizing was for actual mechanics instead of paragraphs separators.
Yes.
Is the fact that
Skeletons.
dice rolling is like D20 rolling is a thing and it evolves. So depending on which format you're playing, I need to bring multiple counters. It just keeps adding up. So in the moment, you still have Ikoria in standard, unless you're playing standard 2022, which is a whole Wizards need to figure out how to fucking rotate shit and have actual blocks again instead of individual sets.
Yeah.
But right now you can have individual counters, like lifelink counters, death touch counters, indestructible counters. You could have dice rolling mechanics. You can have. There's just so much going on. And I'm just like, y'all need to stop.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You're not selling this shit anyway. And you're adding too much to the game.
That's true.
You need to slow down.
I agree with these statements. I do. I will say the one thing, of course, I love about this set is that there are lots of dragons. Because, of course, it's Dungeons and Dragons. So they've now expanded the dragon type to things that are very little and not totally a dragon. Because there are dragonborns in D&D. So that's very interesting.
I watched a set review for CEDH.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who were doing this had no idea, what any of the D&D stuff was, and they're trying to figure out what the fucking tiefling was.
Oh, a tiefling, right? Because it's the creature type that's not in Magic.
Yeah, and they're just like, I don't know, is it like a small person? They just start listing
Yeah.
different small people races. Like, okay, we know a halfling is a thing. We know a dwarf is a thing. Is it like they're smaller than a halfling?
Now, I will say the set boosters, one of the reasons I like them is you get full art cards, which are kind of cool. But what they did, which was a little bit of a cool thing in the art cards for this set, is they actually made them monster manual cards. So on the art cards, like I got an owl bear, and Zach knows how much I love owl bears.
Mm-hmm.
So owl bear, large monstrous challenge 3. So it actually is the section of the like player's handbook or monster manual where you would actually see this monster. So it gives you the stats of the monster, and it's like strength, it's dexterity, it's constitution. It doesn't give you the full. Now I'm picturing a half tiefling, half halfling. Ha ha ha. That's true. So that's pretty cool. And then you could also see the art cards, which are the like old school player's handbook art style of creatures or and or things, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yep, those cool artworks. I'm fully behind it, 215%.
And then also they have manual cards, so they're actually like based off the modulars that the old books used to do.
The Manlands?
Yeah, those kinds of things, which I've gotten actually quite a bit of those. So I'm, like I said, that's why. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's cool. All right, I got an art card that's very different. Oh, that's insane. Oh, there's a lot of, and so set boosters are cool because you get guaranteed foils in them, and you have the ability, obviously, to get multiple rares. That's the real draw. Oh, okay. That's actually worth money, the card that I got in this pack. I didn't get it foiled, though. Foiled land. Yay, foiled land. Got that. Yay. The other thing I like about this set is I like the DM cards that are funny. So I know he doesn't like that they're italicized, but I like that there are DM cards where it's like you're part, like one of them is like you find the villain's lair and it speaks to you as if you're a DM, like giving people options, which I think is kind of funny. Cleric class, so there are these class cards now which are enchantments, and you level them up,
The class,
which are kind of cool. They're cool.
Some of them are much better than
Oh yeah, that's the reason I like set boosters, because set boosters, you have such a better chance of getting your rarities, because you don't really want a lot of the common stuff in here, because a lot of it, like I said, is this whole dungeon trigger thing and like stuff. But I did get the Eye of Vecna, which is actually worth something. It's a good rare to get, actually.
Oh, the Neutron?
Yeah. And then I got a foiled Pegasus. And the dungeon thing, if you guys don't know what that is, let me get the template. Oh, and then the art card.
That was another thing which I'm not entirely... Because, again, you're just complicating the game.
Well, right. It's very swingy. It's obviously meant to be... But the dungeon thing is that there are cards that trigger dungeon effects. Where did I had a dungeon token, so I could show that to people. Here we go.
So it's a thing that's not in your deck, except it technically can be if you activate it. But it's not a sideboard card because it's not a real card.
Right. So there
you have to have a little counter that you move on a piece of cardboard.
Right. So the idea is that there are guys that trigger dungeon effects. So you'll enter the dungeon, and you'll see that each room in the dungeon has an effect that happens. So that's very like set based. Obviously, those cards are not going to see a lot of play outside of this set. It's a fun drafting mechanic, but it's. I agree, it's not. Ooh. I don't agree. I agree that I'm not like a huge fan of it. So. But like I said, that is the reason why I want the set boosters, because set boosters get me better stuff and possibly better rares. And then, like I said, the other payoff in this set is lots of dragons. So you get literally dragons of every color, and I'm going to be making a dragon deck which is standard based, and probably then merge it into either a EDH dragon deck or a legacy dragon deck. Temple of the Dragon Queen, which I've actually gotten this card in all of its forms. I've gotten it in its like showcase art form, everything. But anyway. I'm gonna go through these packs. Got double rares in this one, pretty cool, which was Meteor Swarm, and we got True Polymorph, and we get True Polymorph as a foil, which is even better. And then there's the art card, which is, what is this? Dungeon Map, which, if I'm not mistaken, triggers a dungeon effect.
Yep.
I think that's exactly what that card does. And last pack, really quick, which I basically opened them all, during the stream, which I think is pretty accomplishment based. Obviously, if you guys go back and pause the video, you can read the cards. I'm not reading them like I normally would do an unboxing. And I would say, in general, I got housed on these packs because they were not... Ooh. That's kind of cool. Can you... Ooh. Okay. And probably didn't do as well as I should have on these packs. So if you're a money hungry guy out there, I definitely did not make my money back on the packs that I bought. And of course, there's lots of Dungeons and Dragons like Improvised Weapon, Unexpected Windfall, Lurking Robber, or Roper. It's not Roper. Rally Maneuver. Like there's all these terms from D&D that we all know and love. There's actually a +2 mace in here, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
They make a lot of the jokes. Rare for this pack is Monk Class, which is actually not bad. We got a foil, but we also got a card for Magic's Past, which can happen in these set boosters. And that's our art card. And we got Lashweed Lurker, which sucks. So that's awesome. It's 8 colorless mana. Emerge 5. I don't even remember what that does. You may cast a spell by sacrificing creatures and paying the emerge cost reduced by the creatures converted. Oh, okay. Oh, got it. So you sack the creatures and then you can cut down the mana cost. When you cast...
The whole thing is, if I remember correctly, that is from Shadows over Innistrad?
Yeah.
The Eldrazi one, where it's like, oh, the Eldrazi are bursting out of, like, the normal shit around you?
Actually, this card's not that bad.
The best one was Decimator of the Provinces, because that's essentially a Craterhoof Behemoth effect.
Yeah, but this is not bad, because when you cast it, you may put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. So you get to take something out of play, plus play this.
Yeah, and just like, if I have a big thing that isn't doing enough, like in vanilla,
It's not
blah,
terrible.
blah, blah.
It's not terrible.
I have a 3-drop, I switch it out, I pay 2, and I Fate Seal you.
Yeah, it's not okay. So those packs sucked. We did not get any mythics. But when you buy set boosters, you do have a better chance of getting that kind of stuff. You only have 12 cards, but they mean something because it's more rare. Basically, the way that the set booster works, for folks that don't know, there's more rare slots, or there's more slots where a rare can appear, and there's more slots where a foil can appear. So therefore, they can be very useful for folks that are trying to get more money or value out of a set. But usually set boosters come with a price because sometimes there are certain art variants or cards you can't get in those packs. But this set's not one of those sets where that's true. All right, wow, all right. We're gonna press on. We're gonna start talking about TV and Sean's.
My last thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Just is in the new Jumpstart pack set they're coming out with.
Yes. Thank you.
They're doing digital only cards.
That makes you angry.
What that means is they're introducing mechanics that only work online.
Yeah, I think there's a reason for that.
So like they'll perpetually change creatures and their stats. So it doesn't matter if they die, get exiled, yada yada, resurrected, bounce to your hand, you come back in. They're perpetually different. And I'm just like, this is still a cardboard game, right?
Well, right. That's the reason they're doing it. Because I don't think they're going to continue to make it a cardboard game. I think eventually that switch is going to happen. Not maybe now, but...
Yeah, so I'm mad about that, and I'm just like...
I think they're
Wizards fun.
Well, I think they're realizing that they can make more money I think they're trying to play a couple of different angles so that if they're stuck in a world where they can't have physical events, they have another way to make money. And I think that's all.
Oh, also, the only way you can get Jumpstart packs online, if I remember correctly, is by participating in the events, which do cost money rather than you can't just buy the pack. So if you have like accumulated gold
Oh, in
arena,
in arena, gotcha.
yeah, it's a whole thing. I'm just like, you bastards.
But I think that I think that is the main reason that they are doing it, because I think, like I said, they want to create a situation where they have a way to make money if there's a pandemic. And I think you're going to see a lot of companies, you know, may start to try or to look outside the box to make that happen. Because Magic has been a game that's been that way for so long. They saw so much success with Arena to the point where they were, again, like you said, doing events. You know, it's just not, doesn't make sense. So, switching gears. What if? So that is our first TV. That is our first entertainment topic. So it wouldn't be a show. Yes, and Michael agrees, by the way, to the points that we've raised. So what if we're going to talk about that first? I am super excited about this series. So we talked a lot about Loki. We could also lump in Loki, I think, into this conversation. So spoilers, if you haven't watched the season finale of Loki, I might ruin stuff because it is somewhat related to this other topic. But what if? So what do we think? What are our thoughts? What are our first impressions from what we've seen? Like trailer-wise and otherwise.
I mean, could be interesting.
Go on.
As far, just the whole. I mean, I understand it's a was originally a comic idea that they had. Words. Sorry, my brain just like stalled out there.
Check it out,
Remind
man.
me, are there? What?
No, you can make it. We're almost done. We're gonna go fast through these other topics. We spent a lot of time on GW. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize we were gonna spend that much time.
Have they actually confirmed any particular storylines they're going to be doing with What If?
So the only things that they confirmed with What If was that, so there's a couple of different things that are kind of cool about the show. So they confirmed that the idea behind What If is that they're going to do, for every Marvel movie that there was, there will be an episode of What If. Now that might be over a few seasons. I don't know if they're doing every one of them in the first season. But the theory, or what they put out there, is that they will be doing a What If episode as if they are retelling the movies so that something else is happening. So there's some other variation. So for instance, what if Thor 2 was good? It's funny. I agree with that. So the idea is that they're going to do so what if Steve Rogers didn't become Captain America?
Okay.
But Sharon Carter became Captain America instead, aka Captain Britain, as opposed to Captain America. So they're so obviously that's a retelling of the first Avenger of Captain America, the first Avenger. Guardians of the Galaxy 1. What if Black Panther became Star-Lord's character? So they didn't pick up Peter Quill, they picked him up instead. And he became a Ravager. So there's it's a retelling of those movies, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Now, what's really cool about What If is that they originally kind of made it sound like, to the point I made, it was kind of like an anthology, where it was going to just be these different stories each week, and they didn't have a plot. but that has soon been debunked. There is an actual running plot through the What If series. So they are not anthologies, they are in fact a linear story through all these different ideas. And the reason why I said I'm going to spoil something about Loki is I think that Loki's show is possibly the catalyst of why.
Oh, that would make total sense.
Right. So I think what we saw in Loki, which was the destruction of the timeline or the divergence of the timeline, might create all the what if stories.
And the reestablishing of the multiverse.
Correct. Right. So establishing the multiverse. Well, because the one thing in the trailer that's very intriguing is that Doctor Strange, there's a scene in the trailer where Doctor Strange is actually meeting Sharon Carter as Captain Britain. So it's almost implied, and it would make total sense, if there's any character in the current Marvel Cinematic Universe that could travel the multiverse, it would be him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he might be the linchpin, and that's how we get into, of course, his movie, because we already know he's going to be involved in this sort of multiverse debacle and is going to be in these different movies. So he's going to be kind of the constant guy in the movies, because he's already been confirmed that he's going to be in Spider-Man. He's going to be obviously in his movie. So I think What If is something that I don't think any of us really thought, is What If actually might be somewhat a large divergent point for everything we're going to see coming up.
Yeah, I feel like when What If was first announced, everyone was like, "Oh, this is just a fun cartoon that they're just going to make.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have any bearing on the overall MCU."
But I think it's the exact opposite. I think it's actually got
Yeah.
a ton of bearing in the MCU. And I'm a personal point of pride. My man Howard the Duck was in the trailer. Yes. And he's getting armor. It wasn't just Howard the Duck. Like, he was, like, armoring up for some sort of battle. I'm down. I'm totally down. Let's do this. So, it's just so much. Howard the Duck. That's right, man. Howard the Duck. He's in the trailer. Now, a couple of things that are weird about it, like essentially, there. You know what episode is a retelling of Iron Man, because you see Killmonger saving him, and so of course he does not become Iron Man. So there's like a lot of different angles, but there are a couple of things that are annoying about the series is that now the other niche of this series was that they had gotten most of the voice talent from the movies.
Right.
So literally the cinematic character is voicing their animated character, in a couple of exceptions. One of them being Doctor Strange and Iron Man. So Robert Downey Jr. did not come back to the voice for his character, and Doctor Strange did not, and Cumberbatch did not do Doctor Strange. So they are sound-alikes. They're decent. They're not. I would say the Tony one is not the greatest. It's definitely, it's not Robert Downey Jr. Like, not like real terrible, but it's like notable enough, I think. So yeah. But that's what I think. So, I'm really excited about it. I think, and of course, this is our first real introduction to the Watcher, because the Watcher hasn't been in any. I mean, we've gotten Watchers, we've gotten his race, which I think it's cool that we've established in the MCU that he is a part of a race of people. But the Watcher, we have never had. So, of course, this is our first forte with some reference to the Fantastic Four, which is exciting in all of itself, because Disney wasn't able to use the Watcher because of the agreement with Fox.
Right.
That's part of why they could never do this series until now.
Well, wouldn't that have some, like, the same implications as for... we're both spoiler territory, towards the end of Loki with the whole King the Conqueror, and then eventually showing up in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Isn't he, like, a descendant of...
Well, he is. So that is another... So, yes, technically, the Watcher is not the first reference to the Fantastic Four. But we haven't necessarily gotten his real name yet.
Right. but at
So
this point, it seems like everybody knows.
right, but like I said, I always tell this to people. Like, of course, we could all think they're going to go the natural comic routes, but they could also go in left field and say that he's like not that like there is a possibility. But yes, so technically, for folks that don't know, Kang the Conqueror, which we did meet in the end of Loki. So again, I said spoilers before. Again, sorry. Tough crap.
Yes.
Wabbin?
I don't know. Zach said something.
Did he say
Yeah, I
pat?
was saying gasp as a sarcastic.
Oh. I thought you said ass or pass. So I didn't know what you were
I mean, I guess it's a combination of the two. Pass ass is a gasp. Sure.
That's okay.
I don't know anymore, man.
So Kang the Conqueror, he is a descendant of Reed Richards.
Right.
So he is a descendant, and he comes back to rewrite his own timeline to become ruler of all things, essentially, which you saw in the Loki finale, which was so good because it was done so well. He played them the whole time, and I was like, that's Kang the Conqueror. That's exactly what he is. He's like, oh, I'm the good variant. I'm everything's great, and then they kill him, and that's it. He takes over everything because he needed to die. He needed to die to take over the TVA. He needed to take it over, and that's how he did it. And it was because all the whole time, I bet everybody who was watching went, "Oh, he's the good variant. Yeah, he's fine." No, he wasn't. He was the bad variant. I hope everybody got that when they watched it. He was the bad guy. He wasn't the good. Like, he made it sound like he was the good one, and he was like staying there to protect the universe, but he wasn't.
I feel.
He wasn't. He was the bad one because he was telling you how the bad one tried to kill the good one, and that's exactly what Kang does. He deceives the people around him. I'm telling you.
No, right. I feel like at least I don't know the way I got it, and again, I don't have the same comic background as you, and so I'm not really
Yeah.
as familiar with the character. But it kind of seemed like more he was trying to say that he's like the lesser of two evils. Like that whole if you think I'm evil, just wait.
Right,
And he
but
died.
that's yeah. Well, because that it echoes what they were echoing. Because what Kang talks about, he does do that in the comic book. But what he was really talking about is something that Reed Richards does in the comic book. So Reed Richards is the first one, and that's how Kang becomes Kang, because Reed Richards starts to talk to the multiverse in the comic book. And specifically, he starts to talk to versions of himself. And the problem is, in the comic books, he talks to versions of himself, never thinking, which, by the way, I'm going to say this right now, no offense to the eons and eons of comic book writers, but you deemed Reed Richards the smartest man in the Marvel Universe. That's how he's portrayed. But the smartest man in the Marvel Universe never thought that when he talked to variants of himself, that one of them might actually be evil. Like, if you're the smartest man in the universe, wouldn't you think if there are infinite possibilities of Earths out there, there's probably an Earth where you're a prick and you're an evil bastard? Well, he didn't.
I mean, yeah, but also the problem with Reed Richards is he is a hubristic asshole.
That is also true.
The thought that he might not be perfect in any of his infinite versions of himself never crosses his mind because he's perfect.
I guess that's true. I guess that's a way to explain it away. But yeah, he invites an evil version of himself to. Zach took the words out of my mouth. He invites an evil version of himself to basically conquer our universe. And so it is kind of them reflecting that in Kang. Because he is sort of saying the same plan of what happened to Reed Richards, or what could have happened with his talking to the alternate versions of himself. But because Kang does more elaborate things to like change his own timeline. Because that's essentially what he does. He creates his own apocalypse, his own paradoxes to create himself in the future. But anyway, I'm I'm extremely excited, but I think that's the idea. I think that what happened in Loki forms the what if verse, and it is going to be our beginning into the multiverse. And I also like that they kept in style with the comic to have the Watcher narrate it, so he guides you into these worlds as he did in the what if comic, including my favorite what if story, what if no one was watching the Watcher, which I think is pretty funny. It's one of my favorite what if issues. And it's just the Watcher being really crazy and stupid because no one can, he doesn't have any accountability. So he actually starts participating in things and changing things because that's his whole shtick. He can watch, but he can't participate. Hence the name Watcher. And I was saying Michael said his name, which is Watu, not Watu. No, yes, Watu. That's his actual name. Because that is the Watcher of our, I guess, space sector is the way to call it.
Reality?
Well, no, because it's
well, no, you're right. There are multiple Watchers.
There's this. He's like, yeah, because when he does something bad, they show up.
C-137. There we go. He's Watcher C-137.
Yeah, well, it's like his sector of space. But yeah, because if he does something bad, he actually gets like the other Watchers come, because that's in the comic books. You originally think that he's the only Watcher.
And then the other one's curb stomping because he's like, you keep doing shit.
Well, he doesn't do a lot of shit. The biggest thing he did was he helped the Fantastic Four.
Exactly. You keep doing shit. You need to stop doing shit.
But then, well, sorry, comic book friends, but in the future, he's killed too. So he's actually not in the Marvel Universe right now. And I'll give you 3 guesses in the Marvel Universe of who killed him. It's a very good miniseries. And it's probably who you think, because if you think of anyone, any character you've met, I'll give you a hint. You've met him in the MCU, and if you can think of any character that can figure out how to kill the Watcher, you probably know who it is.
Deadpool?
Good guess. Not it. But good guess. All right, moving on to other TV. Now we're going to Netflix. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Oh, Michael said, "What? Howard the Duck?" You know what? Howard could probably figure it out. It would be real chaotic. It would be real chaotic and not too clean. But I guess Howard could kill the Watcher.
It would be Howard the Duck and Detective Jim. The two of them working together.
With a martini in his hand. Yes, Howard would kill you with a martini. Well, it would be martini and probably smoking a cigar, but I go with all of these ideas. I mean, he did in one storyline have a bazooka and an army helmet and teamed up with Frankenstein, so anything's possible for Howard the Duck. He's got a lot of weird allies. All right, so Masters of the Universe, Netflix. I'm gonna take a very unpopular stance and say I love this fucking show. I know everyone hates it, but I like it. I'm sorry. Part 1 is up on Netflix, so you can watch all the episodes of Part 1. I stress that. It is Part 1. It is not the story. It is Part 1. I know that Zach and Sean have not watched it yet. I gave them a tiny bit of primer before we went live. Of just a little bit. I don't want to spoil too much of the show, but I just want to talk about
It sounds fun.
I just want to talk about what I think. It's really, it's good. So I could give a couple of things because most people probably already know this, but so essentially this is a direct, follow-up to the TV series. So this is meant to take place literally right at the end of that series and moving us into essentially the future. It is insane. The voice cast, very crazy. There's a lot of really random voice cast members here. So Skeletor, if you're not familiar with it, is Mark Hamill. So Mark Hamill is playing the voice of Skeletor. If people don't know, Tila, who was the daughter of Man-at-Arms, for people that know He-Man, is being played by Sarah Michelle Gellar. So if you remember her from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that to me is crazy. He-Man is being voiced by the guy who plays Superman on Supergirl, which is just odd. Evil Lynn is voiced by Cersei from Game of Thrones, which I never really thought of Evil Lynn with that voice, but it really works, and it's scary as fuck. Like, she sounds so much more evil. And I will steal one joke from the show, which I didn't tell Zach and Sean, but there is one funny moment with Evil Lynn and Orko, and yes, I did say those two characters together, and Orko essentially asks her, because he asks about her name, and she makes the joke, because he's about to ask the question, and she goes, "No, I added the evil part later." I thought that was great. Man, I gotta watch He-Man. It looks sick. It is sick.
That reminds me of the robot chicken joke.
What's that?
Of when at one point, I think it's Orko gets the sort of power because
that's
bullshit
awesome.
happened.
That needs to happen. That I'm sorry to spoil the show. He doesn't get that in the show.
Like Prince Adam accidentally gets killed, so Orko picks up the sword of power, becomes goes on roid rage.
Oh, that's
And
great.
he's trying to kill
I think I saw that
like
joke. I think
all the baddies, and Evil Lynn and everybody is cowering in fear and like behind a locked door, and she goes, "Look, I'll be good. I'll start be calling good Lynn." And Skeletor goes, "Oh, I just like him fucking up Evelyn."
The entire time he thought Evil Lynn's name was Evelyn.
That's funny. Yes. It was hard.
And
That's
she's
funny.
like, "Pretty clever, right?" And he goes, "No."
Yeah, so there's like humor like that. But then my favorite voice cast moment is that if you guys remember, I keep saying I think it's Merman, which is the villain that was essentially an aquatic villain. And in the show, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys can correct me, I'm pretty sure he had a really insulting fishman voice. They have him voiced by Kevin Conroy. So he literally jumps out of the water to fight the characters, and you just hear, "The seas will avenge you," and it's friggin' Batman. They got Batman. So he sounds more epic and angry and evil. And he does like, even when the episode's over because they let him go, he does like the slow like tilting his head into the deep, and he's like, "The sea never forgets," and it's like Kevin Conroy saying that. It's just hilarious to me. So the voice cast is
Batman. Like Batman finally teamed up with Joker then. Because Mark Hamill.
Yeah, sort of. I guess you could say that. That's a good way to look at it. I didn't think of that. But yeah, so it's just like crazy, wacky voice. Like and some of the other notable stuff, like people who do Futurama stuff is on there. Like Lamar is on there, so you've heard him do voices in like everything. There's just Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. Kevin Conroy is the only Batman. He's not the best. He is Batman. And I've told that man to his face that. I met Kevin Conroy at Comic-Con, and I said, "I can never think of Batman not sounding like you. Ever." And he laughed. He thought he was so like touched by that. And I was like, I swear to it, I can't. Like anytime I'm reading Batman in a comic, I'm like, it's Kevin Conroy. Like that's the voice I hear. Phil Lamar also voices Samurai Jack. Yes, Phil Lamar does. So Phil Lamar's on there. There's like, it's such a good cast of characters, and it's written by Kevin Smith, which I don't think a lot of people know that about He-Man. That it is written. Yeah. It is written by Kevin Smith, and
it sounds like someone was able to rein in Kevin Smith a little bit in terms of quality, because sometimes he just decides to go out there and it doesn't work.
But I will give one thing. It's a spoiler alert, which I have one qualm with this show. They gave Orko magic cancer. It's the saddest part of my life. It's so bad. There's a lot of heavy...
The words magic cancer are just so disturbingly fun.
It's so bad. They gave him... Michael's just wrote "what" with a lot of exclamation points. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say more than that. But man, do they have Orko's storyline is deep. It's not like you remember Orko for the TV series, and you're like, oh, it's Orko, and he's zany and weird and wacky. Not in this show. It's a little bit different. So I'm going to say one disclaimer. It is an adult He-Man show. And I think that's why people, when they watched it, got real whacked out. Because it is not a kid show. It is. So they 100% make references to the like kid show. And they have flashbacks at points that like kind of flash back to the funny, more like bad pun jokes kind of things. And it's kind of cool because when you think about it, like, it sort of is a reflection of life, which is why I like how the show's written. That, like, you know, when you're younger, it seems one way, but when you get older, there's more reality to it. So I love it, but it is a different type of show. It's very similar to when they redid Thundercats. When they did that they rebooted Thundercats, and again, same thing. People hated on that show. I love that show because it was crazy. Like, they did stuff, like, they killed characters in, like, the first episode, second episode of Thundercats. And I was like, okay, damn. Like, we're in a different world now. Like, it was very adult. And I think that's cool. I think it's a more dynamic story. I think it's very cool. So, but yeah, Orko, magic cancer. Watch that and find out what I mean by that. That is my, by the way, assessment of what happens. That is not what they call it on the show. I should preface that. They do not use the word cancer, but
it's cancer.
It seems like cancer. It just seems real bad. So yeah, Orko, my main man.
And he gets his own little version of chemotherapy.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad.
It's fucking cancer. They gave Orko cancer.
It's not good. Thank
you for giggling along with me.
But that of course is still a good show. Still a good show. And I 100% want to see what happens in part 2, because part 1 was some kind of roller coaster. Oh my god. And there's a lot more stuff. Oh, I didn't even say the Allstate guy's voices a character in this. That's terrible because I just like summed up his acting career to an Allstate guy. You're in good hands with Allstate. That guy, he voices somebody in this show. It's crazy. All right, moving on. What We Do in the Shadows. They did a teaser trailer. If you're not watching this show, you might not like vampires. But if you like vampires, you should be watching this show. It's unbelievable. It's so funny. It's so awesome. Do you have any thoughts, Sean and or Zach? Because I've done a lot of talking.
Movie, I just never was able to watch the show because of stuff. But John just said I could use his Hulu, so
I didn't say that on stream. It's gonna get me in
I
trouble.
don't care.
It's gonna get me in trouble. Remember those laws we were talking about? Sean,
I'm sorry, I was screaming "fuck you" to a multinational company.
Remember those laws, Sean? You got anything for that? Like, no. Sean's our lawyer. He provides law advice for the program.
Yep, he's legally binding.
It is at this point, I'd like to say I am in no way a lawyer, licensed or anything.
See how good of a lawyer he is? He's immediately trying to blame someone else. So What We Do with the Shadows, super funny. They released a teaser trailer for season 3. It is one of the characters putting on an Oculus Rift, which I've never thought of this as a concept, that of course virtual reality would allow a vampire to see sunlight, which I think is hilarious. I never thought of that. This show did. And yeah, it's basically this little teaser of him putting it on and being like, it's the sunshine, it's beaming on my face, and he's like walking around the house, and then he sees a booby lady sitting down, because Endor, because the characters of the show are different than the ones in the movie. Which, funny enough, in the movie version, what's his name that right? Is the director of God.
Uh,
What's his name?
what Tiki?
Yeah. Also the voice of Korg for the MCU.
Yeah,
But
yeah. He's been a whole bunch of other stuff
yeah,
and has done a whole bunch of other stuff. And it's
yeah,
only now the American audiences are recognizing him.
yeah.
If you want a really funny, heartwarming movie, go check out Hunt for the Wilder People.
All right.
That's another one of his films. Really goddamn good.
And you heard it here first. No, probably not first. We probably were like the 10th or 11th or probably the 100th person that said that. But anyway, so yes. But what we do with the shadows? I thought the trailer was funny. Yeah, they have amazing episodes. Favorite episode of all of the seasons is the one where they get the chain letter that they're cursed. And because they're vampires and don't know what email is, they actually think they really are cursed. Because they read this email. It's like, if you read this, you're cursed. And one of the vampires is just like, holy shit. Like, he's like, and he just keeps telling everyone in the house, do you know that we're cursed? And they're like, yes, because I read the fucking email. Yes, we're cursed.
Yeah. So
There's also
I've seen bits and pieces, but one of my favorite bits was the female vampire visits a neighbor.
Oh yes.
Who
Yes.
who's like 90 and has dementia and shit like that. But it turns out when she was a little girl, when the neighbor was a little girl, she actually hung out with her and like hanging her from the ceiling and shit.
Yeah, so she used to go, because she's a vampire. She obviously she doesn't age, so she would play with the child. She would play with the woman when she was a child, and now she's like 85 and she has dementia. Well, they all think that she has dementia, but like, you know, she's not of her right mind. She's older, and then she sees her and she's like, "You used to do this with me, whatever." And then of course she's like, "Oh, she's crazy." Oh. And then but again, the show is done and the movie was done this way, as a fake documentary like The Office style, but with vampires. And she's telling the camera like, yeah, no, I totally do know her, I used to play with her. That episode is also funny because they were invited for a Super Bowl party. That's the reason they were in the house originally. And the man in the house actually sees them do something vampire related, so they have to hypnotize him. But they hypnotize his brain so many times that he gets the scramblies, as they call it. So he can no longer he picks up a stapler and just says like taco, and he like takes batteries and like heats them up in the he takes batteries and puts them on top of tortillas and melts them in the oven and serves them to people thinking that they're nachos, and they're like, oh crap, I think we messed up his mind. This is amazing. It's like, I think I'm selling the show pretty well, but it's so amazing. And then they have the concept of an energy vampire. That's my favorite. And that's so...
Yeah, so, Sean, have you ever heard of an energy vampire before?
Oh, it's so good.
Like they suck electricity, or they just make
No.
people tired?
Kind of the second.
Yeah, so wait, you ever referred to
This is
someone
a real thing, by the way, that people believe they are.
Right, so you...
No, I mean, yeah, they're people that are definitely draining.
Right, so you think of those people at work that are like draining. Well, imagine if there really was a vampire, but that's how he fed on people.
He just sucks your energy and feelings away from you and makes you really tired.
Yeah, but he could
And-
also feed on other vampires and people.
Yeah, and one of the ways that he feeds is that he trolls people online.
Yep.
It makes them really upset, and he just eats those emotions.
Yep. Yeah, and then they have an energy vampire, and then in his office he meets an emotional vampire. Oh my god. So emotional vampire being like, you probably work with people that are like, they tell you how like horrible their life is and how everything's going wrong and how nothing is happening, and like you just want to get out of the conversation because it's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
That's her. So she feeds on people that way. And it's so good. It's and oh god. And then one of them, when he has to go undercover, he basically just wears jeans and puts a toothpick in his mouth and calls himself Johnny, what is it? Jackie Daytona. He just calls himself, and he just literally has a toothpick in his mouth and wears jeans. He doesn't change his voice or anything, and he just goes to a different town, and that's how he hides out. And he owns a bar. He's a bartender. I'm a human, and he even says that to somebody. He's like, I'm a human bartender. My name is Jackie Daytona. It's unbelievable. It's such a good show. And not to ruin any more episodes, but the Council of Vampires, amazing. That is also another good episode because, to Zach's point, one, the vampires from the movie show up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all of them playing that. But the Council of Vampires is actually made up of every vampire you probably have seen in a major motion picture in the last, 7 years.
Oh, don't forget Tilda Swinton's also in it for some reason.
Oh, yeah. But the idea is that, so it's the main vampires from the show. Yo, what's up, Big Dizzle? It's the main vampires of the show, of the movie. But you have, like Pee Wee Herman shows up dressed up as his vampire persona in Buffy the Vampire Slayer when he did the movie.
Wow. Wesley
Snipes video calls in because, of course, he's a daywalker because he's a daywalker as Blade. So it's 100% hilarious. Great. I won't ruin more, but there's it's a huge cameo. It's very, very funny. So yeah, so all kinds of craziness. So and Big Diz says the movie is good. The show is also hilarious, sir. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about PS5, and then we were definitely going to end this episode because we went way too long. Big news on the PS5 front. Sony has decided to stop making everything but PS5s.
Yay!
PS5s?
What happened?
Have they ever even solved the supply chain problem of the PS5?
So their way of fixing it is to stop making PS4s, all accessories for PS4s for a time being, so that they can focus their production line all on PS5s.
So that does remind me of something funny. Have you seen the newest episode of Rick and Morty?
No. I actually am very behind in Rick and Morty. I have to.
This season's a B, a solid B.
Okay.
There's one or two good episodes, and then the rest are just what the actual fuck's going on? But anyway, they brought back the president character. At one point, where he's doing
sorry guys,
flashing back through my life, as a whole bunch of important political moments, bringing down the wall, the Berlin Wall and shit. But it's here's your PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. Then it just cuts to him screaming, "I want a PlayStation 5."
That's about right, though. I mean, I will say I have to give. I don't usually give GameStop credit, but GameStop has been pretty good about releasing them for pro members, so that they can get a leg up and you can get a system. But this has been Sony's reaction, so they're going to try to do that. So that being said, I don't really have any other gaming news. We already talked about Pokemon United, which I know Big Diz is a huge fan of. He's already doing ranked battles and beating the crap out of people over there, which we talked about in a previous stream. But that's been a big game on the horizon. Kind of a pause for games right now. I mean, there's going to be some more stuff coming out, but everybody kind of delayed and pushed because of the whole COVID situation, and because of the actual system shortage situation. So I think a lot of people were trying to push their titles later on to ride that wave so they could have a better initial sale. But Sean, do you have anything to lead us out? Because I know this is sometimes a topic you want to jump in.
Nah, I think it's pretty dry. We're still before the whole holiday release schedule, so
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, so I think the games are going to be a null point. But I'm looking forward to playing. Obviously, I was able to score a PS5, so I can at least be good to review new stuff as they come in the horizon. I am going to start playing some Dark Alliance. I know there's some mixed reviews on that game, so we'll take a look and see how bad it is, or vanilla it is, or whatever it is. We'll see. I mean, it's a D&D game. might have some fun to it. Don't know. And then that's really it. Really waiting on the horizon for some other games. And obviously we will do some more model building and painting, as always. Got a lot of stuff down the pike. Marvel Crisis Protocol. I've been talking about how I might be doing some live events soon, which I'm looking forward to that if it does happen. And just got a lot of terrain and other stuff coming. And we got some other products coming, so we're going to keep you guys informed and posted. I think that's going to be it for tonight. We went a little over than I wanted to. I was hoping to have only done a 2-hour show, but we did a 2-hour and 20-minute show. If you guys enjoyed everything, and I thank you guys for coming and playing and joining with us, and the participation from the chat, which was awesome. I mean, we're definitely hitting records for this show. We got 5 people watching, which we don't normally have that many folks with us, but I'm going to really do my job to stick on the schedule as much as I can. I know I'm hitting those videos, but not always at the time. Life has just been a little bit crazy. I'm hoping to do on... All right, got him on 24. Thank you, sir. Or them. Or ostrich. You're a graceful ostrich. We're going to keep going with that. Ostrich. Graceful ostrich. But yeah, so... or not graceful, majestic ostrich. So we're... I'm hoping to do some actual indie comic stuff. Good night, guys. Glad to catch you all. Well, come back and see us next Thursday, and you're going to see what Zach can do with a giant dragon in front of his face. We're going to see.
Phrasing?
You try to worship the dragon, see if it'll work. But yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Phrasing?
But yeah, so we're going to continue our D&D adventure next week, so come back and see us. And then, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, I'm going to be adding an art-related stream for indie comic stuff on Friday. That's my hope. And I should be able to hit that good. I'm not putting it on the schedule yet. I want to see how it goes because Friday nights can be a little tricky, but we're going to try. And then, of course, Monday and Tuesday, I'll be doing some more model reviewing and painting. And hopefully we'll get that orc box. So maybe if I get that orc box in the interim, I might try to throw that up on the weekend. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm Vant Mario, also known as the Mountain Geek. And for you guys, Zach and Sean, thank you for being here. And do you have any closing words?
Is Mike still there?
Mike said, good night, guys. Glad to catch you all. And then we dropped the viewers, so I don't know if Mike is still around. Yes, Mike is still around. He has said yes.
Mike! Bye.
Oh, okay, there we go. Awesome. Sean.
Good night, everybody.
Mike said good night. Bye, Zach. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Please stay safe. Wash your hands. Mask up because we got variants running around, and I don't mean Loki. So that was a really bad COVID joke. Just be safe. Be smart. Think about what you're doing. Remember, we're all in this together. And I don't want to go back to not being able to see anybody closed off in a building. But hey, look, if it's going to keep us safe, we might have to do it. Mask, we might have to do. I'm still wearing my mask. I'm fully vaccinated. Give it a thought. Give it an idea. It's all about, helping the other greater good out there. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you very, very soon.